Good morning and welcome to our webinar. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We're happy to have you here and we're looking forward to a great session on how to get your organization and data ready for e-commerce in 2022. Our experts today are Ruud de Brouwkere and Jerome Trzecki. Ruud has more than 25 years of experience with real-time expert systems, predictive maintenance, and aftermarket information management systems. As Vice President of Product Development at Significant, he's responsible for the research projects around circular economy and sustainable development. Jerome is an e-commerce sales solution consultant here at Intershop. He'll guide you through the tools and data prerequisites to leverage your aftermarket commerce business. With 10 years of experience in e-commerce and 20 in software projects, Jerome has a great understanding of the e-commerce strategy and architectural alignment needed to turn an aftermarket opportunity into a success for your company. So if you have any questions for our speakers at any point, please post them in the chat here or in the questions section. I will be monitoring those throughout, and we will work through them all in our Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So on that note, I'd like to hand things over to Ruud and Jerome. So thanks so much, everyone. I hope you enjoy and gain some great insights.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for this nice introduction.
Welcome.
So the topic we will cover today is about bowtie. We will explain you what is behind our today's style, what is the bowtie concept. We will also go through the prerequisites that are required for having such a bowtie concept running. What is needed in order to be ready for the e-commerce aftermarket business in 2022. Then Ruud will give you some insights about the PIM, the product information management that is needed, the difference between a usual PIM, a marketing PIM, and an aftermarket PIM. There are slight but important and strategic differences between those two. Then we will jump to the topic of the day in much more I would say technical details. We will try to keep it as simple as possible, but this is the topic of the day, the architecture. So we will need at some point to discuss about what is the appropriate architecture to support this business. Then we will go through real cases, I mean real customer cases. We will show you that some customers already used this kind of architecture to deliver some business promises to their customers. And we will conclude by providing endless possibilities, which is available with this kind of architecture. We will see that the limits are very far. So, in few words, in order to be ready for e-commerce in 2022, it's very easy. You need a strong backend, a strong and detailed backend, able to support and to handle every kind of data, and you will see that data is really key in this business. And the second part is the front end. You will need a very flexible and powerful front end solution in order to expose and to use the data properly and to provide multiple channels and multiple touch points. And the goal is to surround your customer and to be wherever the need of your customer is. So now let's speak about bowtie. The reason why we are wearing this bowtie is about the concept. This is an architecture concept, and in order to simplify the architecture topic, we wanted to provide a very funny and simple design to explain what is the architecture in the end. Why are we speaking about bowtie? It's because we have to cover, I would say, two different parts. We have the left part and the right part. The left part is about the data. What is needed to support this kind of this model is to be able to handle multiple and heterogeneous sources of data. That is key. You need as much data as possible, but you will see that handling heterogeneous sources of data is not that easy, and you will need proper tool to do so. On the right part, you've got a commerce engine and the different sales channels. Every sales channels can be connected to different touch points. And for this purpose, you will need the proper commerce engine. That's the reason why we've got those two different parts represented as a bow tie. There is also a third source of information, of data. And this source of data is here to feed the node, to feed the brain. It comes from external systems. It can come from sensors, from IoT, the Internet of Things. It can come also from the ERP or from your customer relationships management system. I mean, from data coming from customers directly, in order to feed the system and in order to deliver the best experience to your end customer. So now you've got the reason why we are wearing those bow ties, and the way we will explain this this concept is that we will go through the left part first. We will speak about data, and then we will speak about the right part and about the architecture, the real architecture scheme, because you know that this one is a very simplified one, but that's for explaining the concept. So now I'm going to give the hand to Ruud, and he will jump to the explanation of the left part.
Thank you very much, Jerome. For you and for me, maybe this picture was very simple and not too complex, but I think it is complex enough if you look at it. And as Jerome explained, we have this right side, the commerce engine, which is of course very good in supporting commerce, supporting sales and marketing, but the idea of Intershop is to support all interactions from the users in all phases of the life cycle of a product. So also the aftermarket, also when you need repair or when you need to maintain your product. And the key of doing that in a good way is providing the customer with data. And well, today we're going to talk about what is needed to provide this to my customers. So the first thing we need is to find this data. And if you look around in your company, you will find a lot of data, very much data. Typically, if you're a producer, if you're a manufacturer of a somehow complex product, you will have people using a PLM system, creating bill of materials with parts linked to exploded views to show how is the product put together. You will have a CMS system where people are writing documentation about the same product, mentioning the same parts that are in the bill of material. You will have a marketing department who is describing how wonderful this product is, how you can use it and what are the features of it. and that there may even be another even better part or product that is a little bit more expensive. So you have all this information, and you have an aftermarket department creating kits and selling services. Also, again, using the same parts and the same information. So it's a lot about reusing information. But today, this information is often in very different sources. It's people using advanced systems. It's people using Excel or Word, which in its way is advanced, but not as advanced. And so this data is linked into silos. But why is this important? Yes, so I will try to go to the next slide. Yes, thank you. Why is this important? Why is data important? And well, we can go back and listen to what wise men have said. And there is a mathematician and entrepreneur who in 2006 made this quote that data is the new oil. It's very valuable, but if it's unrefined, you cannot really use it. And of course, this was the time when Google was getting big and people started to understand the value of data. In 2017, the Economist said that, okay, now actually data has gone beyond oil when it comes to value in the world. And that can be true. You can measure that probably in 100 ways, and you can say in 100 ways why data is not the same as oil or it's not the new oil. But I like this analogy. Oil has been in here for 150 years. People, engineers know how to find it, how to explore, how to drill, extract it, refine it, and then sell it to many different customers who have different needs. They have oil in various places, in the North Sea and in Saudi Arabia, and this is different sources and many consumers. So I like this analogy, but because just like oil, you need to find the data, you need to explore it. Well, that's the easy part. If you look around in your company, as I said, you will find data everywhere. But then you will need to do something with it. You need to refine it. You need to store it in one place and make it useful for everybody who needs this data. So just like you have cars and aeroplanes and boats and chemical industry who need different type of oil products, you have different types of customers, different types of users of information. So what we say here is that you need to take all this data, which is very heterogeneous, very inconsistent, and put it into one place and refine it there, unify it there, and then make it able to be distributed. And that's, if I go to that. Yes. So that's not the situation today. If you look at how is the current situation, then it's quite messy. This data is created in silos. The aftermarket department is sometimes not talking to the engineering department. The engineering department is not talking to the documentation department. And the end user will notice that, oh, is this really the same part? It looks different here when I look in the manual than when I look into on the website. Information is not reused. So if I at one end have a part, a spare part, and I have a nice new replacement of it, then I want that information, I want that action to be shown everywhere where that part is used. But that's not so today. So people get frustrated. Frustrated users. I have an example of that. I have a vacuum cleaner. I needed a new pipe, a simple pipe for the vacuum cleaner. I know the name, the model name of it. The model number was on the bottom, so it was, well, after 4 years, it was unreadable. So I went to the manufacturer's site and tried to find this pipe. And it couldn't really do that. It gave me 2 pipes. With one was 32 millimeters, the other was 35, and I had to go and measure myself. And I wanted to find it in the product data, but it wasn't sold anymore. So that information wasn't on the site anymore. So the internal organization of this company was exposed to me. I had to go from one aftermarket department to the sales department, and then I got frustrated. And luckily, their payment solution crashed. So I went to a third-party provider on the internet. I typed the model name. I found this product immediately. It had all the information I needed. It reassured me it would fit my vacuum cleaner. So I bought it there. And the original manufacturer actually lost a customer there. So if you don't have your data in order, you will basically lose customers. So we said that this data is available, but it's very heterogeneous. So how should we handle that? It's messy, it's unstructured, it's inconsistent. In different silos, different organizations use different names for the same thing. You have highly automated environments that provide data. You have manual environments that provide data, which gives other kinds of problems with people maybe typing wrong and so on. You have the engineering department, you have the marketing and sales department. So what we say is, don't try. It's always good to try to unify the sources of data. So it's always good to try to have all these departments using the same nomenclature, to using the same reference tables. But we say, if you go into a process like this, don't spend your time on trying to unify all these sources. There are probably good reasons for why they are doing things a little bit different. Get all the information into one place. And while you're doing that, then you unify, you validate, and quality assure this information. So you do that in one place. It's if we go back to the analogy to oil, you will not go in Saudi Arabia underneath and refine the oil while it's in the ground. You will take it out, you will take it to a central place, to Rotterdam, to a big refinery, and there you refine it and make it the same quality as all the other oil. So what do we need? We need a place to store it, but that place to store it will also need a good way to import and map and unify all this heterogeneous information. So you do that in one place. So you think, okay, what I need is a product information management system. And then it's exactly what you thought, and then you thought correct. That seems to be what you need. A product information management system handles information. It handles all information required to market and sell products through distribution channels. So it is basically doing what we've been talking about. It's taking on the left side the green circles, all kinds of information, putting it in one place and distribute it. But what it doesn't do, it doesn't serve all the phases of the life cycle. We experience it cannot support a real aftermarket use case. It lacks the data structure, it lacks the features, it lacks the information types to do that. So that's why we say, okay, you need a product information management systems, but you need one that is made for not only sales and marketing, but also for the aftermarket. So an aftermarket product information system handles also the specific needs of aftermarket parts and services. And okay, what, for example? Well, it does support exploded views. It does support the possibility for the user to see, okay, I've opened my vacuum cleaner, I see how it looks like, I want this bolt here, and then look there and find it in this part list and buy it. And then, of course, get reassured that it will 100% sure fit my machine. It will take care of service instructions, and not just a PDF. It will be like a service instruction which is dynamically created for your product, where you filter only the information that is valid for your version of your product. It will have links to other objects, to tools. You may need a specific tool. Then you can go to that object and see all the information about that tool. You get instructions of how to use the tool to implement. And in every of these information types I've named now, you are reusing the same part. So all the information about this part is actually following everywhere you're using it. Tools and kits is something that typically is not well supported by a normal product information management system. It's something that, of course, you can have it in a list, but you don't have it linked to the right action that you need to take to maintain or repair a specific product. You may buy the wrong tool because you don't have these references between them. So if we look into this, then basically the difference is that a product information management system is very good in handling a lot of information for sales and marketing, but in the end, it is like a couple of tables of information. While we in our aftermarket product information management system see parts more as an object with a lot of information linked to it, but also a lot of relations to other objects linked to it. So if you look at this, this is a flywheel housing. It's a part of a truck. Scania is one of our customers that we're working for, and this is one that fits somewhere in such a truck. Oh, this is quite small, but that is a spare part catalog for a specific truck. These are actually created. Each truck has its own unique spare parts catalog, completely filtered for how that truck is put together. So somewhere there in that catalog, you find this flywheel housing, and you find it in the list, and you get all the information, and you can buy it. Somewhere else in the same catalog, the same flywheel housing may be used. Again, it's somewhere else in the same truck. It's used twice. It's still the same object with all the relations linked to it. And it will appear in more spare part catalogs for other trucks. But the same flywheel housing will appear in a service manual, where you will see it, you see what to do with it, you see what tool you need, and you can cross-reference, you can link between them. So all that information is there. So it's not just a part which is a row in a table. It is an object with relationships to other objects. It's in the service protocol. There is a video you can look for the flywheel housing. So this is what we mean with an aftermarket product information management system. There are technical bulletins. There are replacements of this flywheel housing. And then we can translate it into Swedish when it becomes a svänghjulsskåpa, or in Dutch, a vliegwielhuis. So, and then everywhere you have used this object, you also have available the translations of this object and all the data of the object. And then when it gets replaced, then you don't need to go to all the places where it's used, because we have control over that. So it will automatically, everywhere where it's used, you will know, oh, there is a replacement, and you will know, does this replacement mean that the old one is not usable anymore, or can I still keep using the old one? So all that information is there. So it's much more than a couple of tables of information like you would have in a typical product information management system. So to conclude from my side, how do we then handle on the right side? So I'm moving my way back to Jerome. Handle multiple channels on touch point for information. So a product information management system, a typical PIM, will take care of the top left corner here. It's when you want to buy something, you get all the information about it. Very nice. But we also want to support when you've bought it and you're driving it and you want to have a guidance of, in this case, a car, or when you want to service and maintain it, or when the car is finished, it has gone its 20 years and we are taking it apart. We're looking at the cores that are in there and we want to remanufacture, refurbish them. We need to have information about these so that they can be reused and are not thrown away unnecessarily. So that's my point of today. On the left side, use an aftermarket product information management system because you can store so much more about your products than you can do in a normal product information management system, and you can refine and enrich that information there also. So I've come to the right side now, which is where all this data is going to be used in different use cases. So back to you, Jerome.
Thank you very much, Rod. Yeah. Before going to the right side, let's pause a little bit and explain a little bit more about the architecture. Yeah, the bow tie is a simple concept, but in the reality, I don't know if we have architects in the audience, but for the sake of giving some real explanations regarding architecture, we need to dig a little bit into this bow tie concept. Of course, we have multiple sources of data that are handled by the aftermarket PIM, which is much more convenient in this area than a usual PIM. And on the right side, we have the multiple sales channels and multiple touch points. But everything is communicating. I mean, that's not a one-way ticket. That's not a one-way way of communicating informations. Every system, every part of the system is communicating with each other. So the real architecture scheme is more like the one you are showing on the screen, with the aftermarket PIM that is collecting and providing all the data that are coming from multiple different sources, and the commerce engine is providing multiple channels, multiple business models, and every business model can be, I would say, enhanced, can provide multiple touch points, and everything is going through what we are calling in this case an ESB, an enterprise service bus, which is basically the router of information. It will collect information and distribute those information through different messaging. It will be used like some events when an information is updated. This update is communicated to the right system. So this enterprise service bus is allowing those different parts of the architecture to communicate within each other. So I wanted to provide this this explanation, this a little bit more technical explanation, saying that okay, the bow tie concept is really nice to understand what the message we are providing to you, but the real architecture scheme needs much more, I would say, detailed components, and you have to define all those flows in order to properly communicate the data to the right sales channel or to the right touch point. So now let's go to the let's jump to the right part, to the multiple channels and multiple touch points. So we already spoke about those different touch points, but now let's jump to real cases. Let's speak about the reality of what some of our customers are doing and the way they are managing data and the way they are managing channels and touch points in order to provide much more a better customer experience, or to enhance the way they are making business with their end customers. First example I would like to talk about is Trump. So Trump is quite a big company. They are providing leather cutting machine. Let's put it that way. Very big laser cutting machine. They wanted to go. They wanted to go digital. They wanted to provide their customers and their end users a much more seamless experience. So they are manufacturer of the machine, so they have quite a lot of information, quite a lot of data regarding those machines, and they decided to provide all those data through different touch points. So they created applications available on a simple mobile phone that are available 24/7 as a unique touch point with the customer, providing all kind of informations like of course spare parts, but not only spare parts. So the ability to order online your spare part, to get informations regarding safety, to get informations regarding trainings, or a direct contact with the customer service, or ability to download some reports. That's very interesting way to use the data that are collected from multiple and heterogeneous sources of data. So coming back to the example that Ruud gave regarding the vacuum cleaner, Trump is providing a way through the mobile application to recognize the part and to recognize the tool that is needed to mount or unmount the part using the data and this channel and the combination with the right touch point. The operator is able to understand what he has to do in order to repair the machine. And if there are some dust and you can't read, for example, the serial number of the spare part you need, there is also a recognition engine that is available, and that will allow you to recognize the part and to place your part into the basket and order, and the day after the maintenance will be able to replace this part. That's that's a very good way to avoid the frustration like Ruud just mentioned in his personal example. So I'm pretty sure that the vacuum cleaner manufacturer from Ruud is not using this kind of feature. So that's a very good way to mix and to deliver a very good customer experience using the data and the commerce engine. So if you scan the QR code, you can see the complete video describing this use case. So Another very interesting customer case, it's a PAL Corporation, a customer from us in the US. They are providing a very complex filtering machine. So they are using sensors, they are using IoT for years now. They are using IoT in order to watch the machine, to see the way they are running, so to see the consumption of the machine in terms of energy. But it was not linked to any after sales business. It was not linked to any commerce. So what they did using the REST API system the Intershop platform is providing is they connected those IoT sensors to a customer portal. This customer portal, don't know if you know the Intershop platform, but this is a standard one. But you can enhance, you can personalize this portal as much as you want, meaning that using the REST API and the information coming from sensors, you can see from the customer portal the usage of the machine, the way the machine is used. But now it's linked to something much more related to localization of the machine, and also linked to, of course, some additional services to the customers, like, for example, the predictive maintenance. So that means that now if you want to order from your customer portal some maintenance service, or to understand when you will have to change a spare part, or to find a spare part, or to order the spare part, that's in one place, meaning that the customer has to use only one portal to manage everything around the machine is using. So that's a very nice example again of the usage of data and commerce engine. I will now explain you some very nice example. Wurth company, don't think I need to introduce them. It's a very big company. It's a customer of us also, and yeah, they used I would say all the capabilities of the touch points and sales channels in one way, in order to make the life easier of their customers. So they used everything. They used the data in order to provide a seamless customer experience, and they are bringing the offer to the customer. They are not waiting the customer to choose to find the right touch point. They are providing every touch point possible to the customer, and that makes their life easier. So they have physical touch points that are available also through the for example, the vending machine, or the field sales, or the very specific Kanban or OC that are in the factories. But they have also some much more digital touch points that are available in only and single platform. So that means that they used, I would say, I think that from my point of view, that's the customer that is using the more the capabilities of handling such touch points and sales channels. So yeah, very interesting and smart example. And that's only possible because the Intershop platform is providing such features. I mean, it's very easy to decline and to spread the information that you collected with your product information management system to different kind of channel, and you have to manage those information in only one place and spread out wherever you need, wherever your customer need. So that's it for the real cases, the real life examples. So now it's time to wrap up a little bit. So we told you about the how important is the data, the way you are managing data. You don't have to refine them. There are specific systems that are really able to refine them. Then you need to understand your customer needs, the way your customer will be able to provide the best experience, the way they will be able to not to be frustrated at any time. So in order to offer this seamless shopping experience across every possible channels, depending on the brand, on the region, the country, the business model you want to support. So you will centralize your information, you will concentrate the information, and then you will be able to manage it on a lot of different endpoints. So the different sales channels will be very important to be delivered, and the touch points also can be physical or digital, can be IoT, can be mobile, can be desktop, can be resellers, can be salespeople, field salespeople, can be whatever you need. You need to understand your customer needs. You need to understand what they will make their life easier, and then you need to build the architecture that is supporting this this way of making business. So to make the link and to conclude, you need to support your entire customer life cycle in order to make business. Maybe it's a real easy way to say things, but that's the way you need to handle the way your customers will be delighted. We spoke more about the after sales market, but you need to consider the complete life cycle in order to build the proper business model and the proper architecture. Ruud, maybe you would like to add something at this point in order to conclude our webinar.
Thank you. No, I think that it's important when you're looking for how to do something, how to solve a complex problem in our industry, that you have to find a solution that brings together the best products in every area you need it. So in this case, you need a product to take care of the data, and you need a product that takes care of the touch points. And there we have then Significant, which is an aftermarket product information management system, which would fit very well on the left side, and Intershop fitting very well on the right side. So just want to make sure that people have heard our names also. Jerome, are we ready for questions?
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to pop up back in here. First of all, thank you so much for the interesting, informative, and also entertaining presentation. I think it was really, really nice. So we do have a couple questions from the audience, and I will go ahead and start with the first one. Nick, first of all, says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Nick. Thank you for joining us. Nina D has asked, can you link a PIM to an ERP so that you don't have to configure data twice?
Yes, absolutely. Most customers we work with, they have a PIM system, they have an ERP system, they have then also an aftermarket PIM system, and the same data will appear in these various systems. So you always have to determine what is the master, what is the slave, but you definitely should determine for each type of information who owns it. Is it the ERP who owns it, or is it the PIM who owns it? And then you should just share it, copy it to the other systems, and you should automate that. So yes, you should only need to define it in one place. And this is how to do that, in what direction, that will depend on what kind of information is it. Is it linked to product information, or is it more linked to the enterprise resources?
Thank you. I think that very well answers her question. And we have another question or comment from Gerard S. I think for Worth, the next step is to get offline data into the online data, branch office data.
Absolutely. So that is what we also see at our customers, that is exactly this, with this heterogeneous sources, that you will, maybe you start with the low-hanging fruit and take the information that you can get automated already today, but you should really focus on what information is most important and valuable for our customers. So you should focus on that, and if that is data that today is offline, then you should start working on getting that online and getting it into the aftermarket PIM. Absolutely.
Then thank you, and excellent input. And Gerard says thank you as well. From Christian L, we have the question: what is your recommended aftermarket PIM?
The significant aftermarket information platform. I would definitely recommend it. I know a lot of people who like it.
Sure.
And it's used by customers. I mean, Jerome has showed a number of customers, but of course there are more than that. We have Alfa Laval, Atlas Copco, Scania, Komatsu Forest, also, yeah, a lot more Dometic. We have customers in 3 continents, so we can always support you.
Then I have another one here from Nick A. What is the hardest part when integrating an ERP with API?
That's a very nice question. Very good one. The hardest part. That's the question. Becca?
I think it's that's the question. I think it's maybe subjective, but
no. That's yeah, of course that's subjective, but from my experience, yeah, everything depends on the systems you have to connect. Sometimes there are there are what we call connectors available, so that's very easy to connect. The ERP system to your platform, but when it comes to define very specific APIs, you need to rely on very good knowledge of the way your ERP is able to communicate outside, the way your ERP is also able to receive information from external system. Everything will be, I would say, no, the way it usually works, it's through the enterprise service bus. So that means that you have to build the communication. You know the arrows that we saw on the architecture skin. You need to build them. What is the hardest part is to get the knowledge of your system, of the capabilities of your system, if the connectors are not out of the box.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. And I have a follow-up question, or another question from Thomas here. What is the most relevant model? Multiple channels or multiple touch points?
Interesting questions also. I would say that the most relevant model is to provide a seamless experience to your customer. So usually it's regarding the different touch points. Having multiple sales channels is to handle different business models, B2C business model, B2B business model, a B2B2B, or different countries or regions. The way you will facilitate the life of your customers is to provide what he needs, when he needs, and where he needs it. So that's more related to touch points. So within one business model, you will be able to provide different way of providing the information when the customer is needed. Take the example of Ruud and his vacuum cleaner. What was missing at this point is not one or two different channels. It's the touch points that were missing.
All right, thank you. I think that answers that question very well. And I hope we have time for one more quick question from Alex L, who's asked, is there any kind of data that an aftermarket PIM is not able to support?
That's a trick question, because we of course always say that we can take everything, but there is definitely data that you shouldn't put into an aftermarket PIM. An aftermarket PIM is thought to have relatively static information about a product. So it's the product information. It could be when the product is produced, if the product is still valid, what markets it shall be sold on to, and so on. What I don't think fits well is to have very volatile information in the aftermarket PIM, like stock levels and spot prices and so on. That can be much better dealt with through an integration with an e-commerce portal like Intershop. So there's definitely information that you should not put in the aftermarket PIM. It should really be technical information, product information that is static over time. And over time, I mean, this can change every week, but it should not change during the day, basically.
Great, thank you. Very well put. And I definitely like the combination of Significant and Intershop. Seems to be like a good fit for a lot of customers. Then if anyone has any further questions, I would say please feel free to reach out to Ruud and Jerome. And we are happy to support you in all of your e-commerce and aftermarket goals. We thank you for joining us today. And we have a couple of upcoming events and a past event that we would like to suggest. Jerome, would you like to tell us about it?
Yes, we have a past event that is available online on the way you can leverage the aftermarket to improve your customer retention by Mauro and Matthias. And the upcoming event is a live one, if I'm correct, Becca. It will take place in Malmo, Sweden, 16th of March. So it's coming. It's coming. So we will talk about some a little bit more with a little bit more details with people, the way our customers they implemented those kinds of models and the way they leverage the aftermarket business. I mean, in real life.
Yeah, perfect. So we have that coming up, provided that everything, the situation allows for a live event. We would like to invite,
so.
of course, you guys and to join us there for the live talks and roundtable sessions. So looking forward, of course, to seeing you there. We can follow up in the emails. You'll receive, of course, the recording, the slides, and information about the further events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Wish you a wonderful rest of your day and keep in touch.